Thank you very much. Mrs. Andreasen next.
President, at long last, the saga that was the negotiation of the EU long-term budget, the MFF, has concluded. This House backed away from the frankly ridiculous 1 trillion that it had been asking for. The agreed 960 billion is still a massive figure, but it represents for the first time since multiannual budgeting began in 1993 a reduction in the EU budget. This is something that, as you will know, I have been asking since I first became an MEP. But the public will not be rejoicing. They know that the MFF is still full of vanity projects such as Galileo and the ineffective European External Action Service headed up by Catherine Ashton. While today is a step in the right direction, I fear that the Parliament will, as in previous years, return like Oliver Twist style to ask for more money. I hope flexibility does not mean a blank chequebook. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Hannan.
Thank you, Mr. President. With only one exception, every voice we have just heard has been in favour of higher spending. You have to ask why that is. It has to do with the way incentives have been skewed in the EU process. Everybody has an incentive in spending more money. The MEPs, obviously, and the other Eurocrats, they are all personal beneficiaries from it as well as believers in the project. The national governments really have no particular incentive to reduce spending. If spending is coming from Brussels in their region, they don't want to invigilate the system and reduce the amount going to recipients. There isn't really anybody whose job is to keep the budget down, and that's the basic structural flaw here. It is not like a national parliament where there is a link between taxation, representation and expenditure, where the parliamentarians have to go back to their constituents who are also their taxpayers and explain what they have done with the money. We expect the bouquets when we spend, but not the brickbats when we tax, because the taxation is done elsewhere, and that is why there is this constant structural upward pressure on spending.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.